You sit alone in your room. You ignored 3 texts today. You blocked someone last week. You justify this behavior with a trendy internet buzzword. You say you are protecting your peace. I say you are retreating. You are confusing emotional fragility with high performance. The modern self-care movement is a cult of weakness. It has brainwashed you into thinking that any friction is toxic. It tells you to cut off anyone who makes you slightly uncomfortable. This is not peace. This is isolation. You are failing by choice. You are building a prison of absolute comfort, and you are locking yourself inside. The truth is brutal. You cut people off because you lack the mental spine to handle complex human dynamics. You run away from difficult conversations because your nervous system cannot tolerate the spike in cortisol. You think you are guarding your energy. In reality, you are just terrified of conflict. True power does not require you to live in a cave. True power is standing in the middle of chaos and remaining entirely unaffected. If your peace requires the complete removal of everyone who challenges you, it is not peace. It is cowardice. Let us look at the mechanics of the human machine. Your brain is a predictive processing engine. It operates on data. Other humans are the most complex data points in your environment. When you cut everyone off, you starve the system. You create an echo chamber. Without external friction, your mental algorithms decay. Look at the physics of a network. A node with no connections is a dead node. It transmits nothing. It receives nothing. It holds zero value in the broader system. You think isolation stops the pain. It actually amplifies it. Your nervous system is designed for load-bearing. Think of a massive steel suspension bridge. The cables are under immense, constant tension. That tension is exactly what keeps the bridge standing. If you remove the tension, the structure collapses. Human psychology operates on the exact same physics. Without social tension, your emotional immune system atrophies. High performers do not hide from complex social dynamics. They build a psychological architecture to manage them. They understand that relationships are systems of energy exchange. Sometimes that exchange is smooth. Sometimes it is volatile. But you do not shut down the entire city power grid just because one wire sparks. You isolate the spark. You manage the current. People who operate in the top 1% of life treat their mind like a high-security facility. They do not demolish the building when a threat appears. They simply adjust the security protocols. When you cut people off at the first sign of stress, you are signaling to your own brain that you are incapable of handling reality. You train your amygdala to see every human interaction as a lethal threat. This is a biological disaster. You are hardwiring your brain for chronic anxiety. To fix this, you must stop viewing relationships through the lens of comfort. You must view them through the lens of systemic capacity. How much load can your system handle? If the answer is 0, you do not need more boundaries. You need more strength. You want the life of the 1%. You want the money, the status, the unshakable mind. But you refuse to pay the entry fee. The entry fee is suffering. The entry fee is discomfort. It is looking someone in the eye when they completely disagree with you and holding your ground. When you experience social conflict, a very specific neurobiological sequence triggers. Your amygdala fires. Cortisol floods your bloodstream. Your heart rate accelerates. Weak people run from this chemical spike. They label the other person as toxic. They block the number. They cancel the plans. They do whatever it takes to make the cortisol go away. High performers do the exact opposite. They use that cortisol as fuel. Neuroscience dictates that neuroplasticity requires stress. You literally cannot rewire your brain for strength without first breaking the old, weak connections. Friction with other humans is the exact resistance training your mind needs to evolve. Stop running from difficult people. That pain is the exact mechanism of your growth. We call this the broken to strong philosophy. A bone that breaks heals back denser. A muscle that tears grows back larger. A mind that faces conflict becomes antifragile. You cannot forge a steel weapon without fire and a heavy hammer. Difficult people are the hammer. Stressful situations are the fire. Every time someone misunderstands you, every time someone disrespects you, they are giving you a repetition in the gym of human resilience. When you avoid them, you skip the workout. You remain small, you remain easily triggered. The elite mind understands that suffering is just data. It is raw feedback. When a conversation gets heated, the elite mind stays cold. They monitor their own heart rate. They watch their own emotional reactions as if they are observing a science experiment. They do not let the external chaos penetrate their internal operating system. They absorb the pressure, they process the data, and they respond with calculated precision. This is the ultimate flex of human dominance. Not running away, standing your ground and letting their chaos break against your discipline. We are going to break your social strategy down into a cold systemic protocol, the raw mechanics of how you actually protect your mental space without becoming a hermit. Variable 1. The toxicity myth. Stop labeling every minor inconvenience as toxic. Disagreements are a mathematical certainty in any human network. They are a feature of the system, not a bug. Your friend is not toxic because they gave you harsh feedback. Your family is not toxic because they do not understand your ambition. Occasional tension is the byproduct of two different operating systems trying to communicate. If someone repeatedly violates your core principles, that is a threat. Neutralize it. But if the issue is just friction, adjust your expectations. Do not terminate the connection. Variable 2. The boundary architecture. Avoidance is the strategy of prey. Boundaries are the strategy of an apex predator. A boundary is a mathematical limit. It dictates exactly how much energy leaves your system. You do not need to block someone. You just need to stop replying within 3 seconds. You do not need to skip the family dinner. You just need to refuse to engage in arguments that drain your battery. You build massive stone walls, but you install heavy iron gates. You control when the gates open. Variable 3. The myth of infinite availability. Stop bleeding your cognitive resources. Attention is a currency. You are handing it out to emotional vampires for free. You feel responsible for the emotional state of everyone around you. Psychology calls this emotional overload. I call it a catastrophic leak in your energy system. You cannot manage the feelings of other people. It is biologically impossible. When you try, you drain your own reserves. Protecting your peace means looking someone in the eye and saying, "I do not have the bandwidth for this conversation today." It is not selfish. It is resource management. Variable 4. Tiered security clearance. You are treating everyone like they have top-secret access to your life. The guy you met 3 months ago does not get the same emotional bandwidth as your closest ally. Implement a tiered access system. Level 1 is the inner circle. High trust. High energy exchange. Level 2 is casual connection. Low emotional investment. Level 3 is purely transactional. The problem happens when you let Level 3 people access Level 1 data. You do not have to cut someone off. You just downgrade their security clearance. Give them less time. Give them less trust. Give them zero emotional reaction. Variable 5. Tactical detachment. You do not need to absorb the emotional state of the person next to you. If someone is angry, that is their nervous system misfiring. It has nothing to do with yours. Observe. Do not absorb. When someone criticizes you, visualize their words as physical objects hitting a reinforced glass wall. You see the words, you analyze the words. You do not let the words touch your skin. Variable 6. The illusion of control. Cease all attempts to reprogram other humans. You cannot write their code. You can only control your response algorithms. Trying to force someone to understand you is a massive waste of computational power. Accept that some people will never meet your standards. Stop trying to change them. Change your proximity to them. You are going to implement 3 high-leverage protocols immediately. This is how you lock in the architecture. Step 1. The 24-hour emotional quarantine. The next time someone triggers you, You are forbidden from reacting for 24 hours. No angry texts, no passive-aggressive behavior, no blocking. You freeze the system. You let the cortisol clear your bloodstream. You respond tomorrow with cold, calculated logic. Step 2. The access audit. Tonight, you will mentally categorize the 5 people who drain you the most. You will not cut them off. You will simply downgrade their security clearance. Cut their access to your time and your emotional reactions by 50%. Watch how quickly your energy returns. Step 3. The cold observer technique. In your next difficult conversation, you will focus entirely on your physical breathing. You will watch the other person speak as if you are watching a movie scene. You will detach your ego from the interaction. You will become a ghost in the machine, untouchable, unbothered, completely in control. Your peace is not a fragile thing you hide in a safe. Your peace is a weapon. Sharpen it. Subscribe.